Right. This is going to be the third video on my series of videos for practice algebra assessment for year 10. So let's start. Well, before I begin, I need to set up my notes and everything. And so far, we have completed discussing about that section, question 1. Today, the video number 3, please, video 3. I hope all the people are watching them. That will make me happy. And question 2. That's what we are talking about today. It's basically the formula for the area of a circle, and you have seen that in the classroom, haven't you? A equals pi times r squared. R is for the radius of the circle, a is for the area of the circle, and pi is a magical number of mathematics which is pretty close to 3.142. The Chinese used to call it 22/7 and so on. That's a long history. Well, this is one of the problems we might come across in later part. That means next year with MCAT. Okay, section A. Right, calculate the area of a circle with a radius of 6 centimeter. This is the reason we always say read the question, because whether the radius is given or the diameter is given is going to make a huge difference. So radius is this one, halfway through from the center, right? So radius is, that makes it easier. It's a question of substitution. That's the skill in algebra. We have learned that. So I'm going to write the next step, area pi times 6 squared. Got to be careful with the squared because that's going to make some difference, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to do the draft work. Assume you don't have a calculator. So 6 squared means 6 times 6, which gives you 36. So basically we are looking at pi times 36. Now to calculate the area, you need to multiply 36 by pi. And if you have a calculator, you'll simply go for pi, value of pi, which is pretty close to 3.142. Well, remember, I am emphasizing the point pretty close to 3.142. It's not exactly 3.142. So, right, what you can do, if you don't have a calculator, most likely it's going to ask you to write it in terms of pi. So that will be the final answer in terms of pi. So 36 of pi, right? 36 times pi, right? In terms of pi. So if pi is about pretty close to 3.14, you are, just remember, you are multiplying 36 by a number which is close to 3. 3 lots of 36. Okay. I'll move to the second part, which says rearrange the formula. Now, that's going to make our life a little bit uncomfortable. That's another skill of algebra, and in year 10 I haven't discussed it thoroughly. Once in a while I mentioned it in the classroom, but that's not good enough. So basically what it means, uh, well, if you read the question, it says make the subject, watch the word, make the subject R. So the radius, if you are trying to work out the radius, this is the way to go. So let me write down A equals pi r squared. Now think of this. This should be the main subject of the formula. That means we got to write, let me erase that. Let me go back to the thing once again. Okay, so you need to write the equation something like this. R equals, rest of the elements of the formula will be on the right hand side. This is one of the skills which is a little bit tricky, so you got to watch me. So what did I do to get the area? We multiplied pi times r squared. So we multiplied, I am thinking of a letter, I squared it, which gave me r squared. And then what did I do? That story goes on. I multiplied that by pi. That gave me pi times r squared, and which is the same thing, equivalent to area. Pi r squared is the area. Now, if we travel back, we call it backtracking. We got to divide area by pi. So we got to divide area by pi. Let me write it down. And my question is, to reverse the process, what do I have to do? I squared on the way forward. So reverse process will be square root. I am going to write it down, which looks like this. That's a symbol, which is a unique symbol of mathematics. So I'm going to write this one with a square root sign. You've got to be mindful that this a over pi is totally covered with the square root. It's not like this. It is all enclosing the thing. That is the most important thing. People get it wrong. So my final answer is, I know everyone is waiting for that, is all enclosing square root a over area divided by pi. And if I square root that, if I go for area square root of pi, area divided by pi, then if I square root it, that will give you the radius. That's what it means. Okay, I'll stop there. I'll upload this one, and I'll come back to this one once again. And otherwise, the video is going to be pretty long. Okay.